What's going on, Fit Fam? It's Connor from iLoveKickboxing-Peabody. Welcome back to Form. Today we got roundhouses. Look like this. All right, Fit Fam. So there's three things that we're going to go over on a roundhouse: step, stack, and strike. First one is the step, which we're going to go over right now. Biggest thing is to make sure that our foot is 45 degrees. As we step out, that foot should be parallel with the bag. All right. Another thing to cue you in on how far that step should be, you should be able to see past the bag, just the side of it, just enough to where you can see the side of the bag right here. One more thing is making sure the ball of the foot is where all the pressure is. You never want to keep all the weight on that back leg. Try to keep most of the weight, about 75 to 80% of the weight, right on the ball of your foot, ready to go into the next step. All right, so we just went over step one, which was the step out. Now we're going to go over the step two, which is stacking the hips. Biggest thing is taking your lead hip and bringing it on top of your plant leg. You want to really force that hip to come on top of that opposite leg. So when you're coming to strike the bag, you're going to have your entire torso facing that left side if you're doing a right roundhouse. Identical to this. Bringing it right back, getting that hip to deliver that cross right on top so you get the core to face the opposite direction. All right, so let's go over step three, which is the strike. If we did step two correctly, stacking the hips, the strike comes automatically. The biggest thing you want to watch for is where we're hitting with our shin. So we always want to aim for the lower part of our shin. If you step too close to the bag on that first step, you're going to be hitting with your knee. A little too close to the bag. If you step too far away, you're going to strike with just your foot. It's going to hurt like hell. So just make sure you find that middle ground. Start close to the bag, work your way back till you find that sweet spot where you're striking the bag with your shin. All right, perfect. Those three steps are going to help you master the basics of the roundhouse. Things that we're going to look for in class to help you improve that starts with the pivot. On the foot, that plant leg should be on the ball of your foot. And when we pivot, that's going to help initiate the movement from the hip and make that roundhouse a lot stronger. The next thing we're going to look for is dropping the shoulder down. This corresponds with the height. If you want to get that roundhouse to be up near the top of the bag, you got to lean that shoulder back. Next thing we want to focus on is chopping that right arm down to create more momentum and stabilize the body. Last thing, we want to make sure that we're always watching the bag as we're going through a strike. Never just try to kick the bag blind. When we kick the bag, snap that leg right back down and deliver that kick with some urgency. All right, team, the left roundhouse is identical to the right side. You just have one extra step in there, and that's what we call our shuffle. So going over the shuffle, if you're in that fight stance position and you want to go to that left roundhouse, you can't just take that step out. You're way too close to the bag, so what we have to do is we have to shuffle our feet. So what we're going to do is start with our left foot, slide it over to our right, and then that's going to be your first step. Stepping out enough to see past the bag, on the ball of your foot, ready to go stack and strike into that. So one more time, you're bringing your left leg to your right, stepping out with your right, and then striking the bag with your left, and then going right back to fight stance. So once we start getting really good at that left roundhouse, your shuffle is going to be super quick. It's going to look like this. So when we're going through that shuffle, just one more thing. When we're doing that, that foot's got to be in that 45-degree angle. One way to know that is that it's almost like your hips are going to want to walk in that direction. That's how much of an angle those hips should be as you go for that left roundhouse. One more time, looks like this. Thanks for watching Form, especially the roundhouses. We'll see you in class.